You're listening to the Hour of the Time. I'm William Cooper. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to try to explore this phenomenon that seems to be prevalent all over the place, that people are so willing to believe almost anything they hear. And the wilder it is, the more willing they seem to be to believe it. There are also some other parameters here. It seems that if somebody hears it on the radio, they automatically assume that it's true, whether it is or not. And if they see it on television, it's gospel fact, never to be questioned. If it even has the slightest appearance of being an official document, then without any doubt whatsoever, it's fact. Now, I'm saying all this tongue-in-cheek, folks. I'm not telling you that if it looks like an official document, it's fact. I'm telling you this is what people think. How did we get to this point where so much deception is believed by so many? Over a 3-month period, about 4 years ago, just to test and see how much of the stuff that was flowing around was true. This was about 4 years ago. We were plugged into the Patriot Facts Network and a whole bunch of other things, and we were listening to broadcasts, and people were sending us things every day, and they still are. But over a 3-month period, we examined every piece of paper that we received. We examined every fact that was, everything that was alleged to be fact on talk radio, and we examined all the rumors and things that were flying around that people believed. What we found out was amazing. For those 3 months, we actually researched, investigated, and went to the source for every single one of those things. And what we discovered, ladies and gentlemen, is that about 99% of all of it, every bit of it, could have been 98.5, was false, was a lie, was a fraud, was an out-and-out fake, was a deception, sometimes intentional disinformation, put out by people to manipulate the minds or the thinking of the target audience. Most of it, we found, was just rumor. Hysterical Bo Grites. Bobo Grits, as we call him here. Bobo because he is a bobo for thinking that all of us are so stupid as to hear him constantly contradict himself and lie repeatedly that we're going to continue to believe him. And he's grits because when the majority of patriots find it out and the proverbial buffalo chip hits the fan, they're going to eat this guy for breakfast, and where I come from, that's grits. Oh. Now, the purpose of this broadcast tonight is not to ridicule anybody. I just want to explore how this happens and how we can get it to stop. And to do that, we're going to have your participation. I need you to call in and say, hey, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was listening to so-and-so, or somebody handed me a piece of paper, or I got this over the fax machine, and I believed it. And I went and did this, and this, and we were getting all prepared for this, and that, and then all of a sudden we found out it wasn't true, or the date came and went, and nothing happened. And so this is what I thought about it then, and this is what I'm doing about it now, or however you want to treat this. I want to try to get at some of the root reasons. Why is it that we buy this stuff? Why is it that everybody I've ever asked about Stanton T. Friedman, if they were a used car dealer, would they buy a car from him? They say no, but they believe everything he says about flying saucers. If you wouldn't buy a used car from Stanton T. Friedman, why in the world would you buy a flying saucer? You see, these are the things that I can't understand that I would like to reach some kind of understanding about tonight. If we can't understand why something happens, then we can't combat it properly to make sure that it doesn't happen. And so while you're listening to this, and I go get me some ice water, you guys can prepare and figure out, what you're going to talk about when you call in, and we'll get the show on the road. Good evening. You're on the air.
Hello, Bill. This is Jeffrey in New Orleans.
Hi, Jeffrey. You're our first caller for the night. You know the parameters of the subject, right?
I certainly do, and it's right up my alley because I've been through a lot of those experiences, and I can tell you why these things happen and give you some examples.
Okay, go for it.
First of all, you pointed out on your show about how many people are subject to living as they did in high school.
Yes.
High schools do not teach people how to do research or teach people that the different people have different viewpoints and that they have to find out how to think. And people are not taught logic except in college. And, of course, being objectivist-based and being a follower of Ayn Rand, I'm very well familiar with the damage that kind of philosophical problem does to people. Let me give you a brief example of an incident that occurred this week.
Okay.
Tuesday, on a show entitled Information Wars over Republic Radio Network and Chuck Harder's For the People, both commentators stated that a decision, Wyoming versus Houghton, I think that's what it is, allowed the government to enter your car and search you personally for contraband if you were carrying it on your person. Well, I got scared, of course, because I thought that they might want to search me, and if they found the
after a piece of equipment failed. And they're saying it's non-Y2K related. This is just unbelievable.
One other thing, I heard Bo Gright say this morning that Russia said if their power goes out that they're going to blame us and they're going to set off their nuclear warheads.
Well, I didn't hear that, but I would be interested to have any details. Do you have the details of what Colonel Gright said?
No, that's all I heard him say was that they said if they had a power blackout, they'd blame it on us.
I know they're threatening to nuke us every single week. I've read the Associated Press, Reuters, Interfax News Agency, London Times articles here. I mean, I read Yeltsin and Jiang Zemin's quotes, the dictator of China, and they're saying we'll nuke you. I mean, they spell it out. We will hit you with nuclear weapons. We reserve the right to hit you. 3 weeks ago, their head of their missile forces said we reserve the right to nuke you first. Their currency is plunging. The Egyptian pound is plunging against the dollar, the Japanese yen.
I think a lot of people need to know. We don't,
because people always. Because I have people, they've written emails, and one thing they say, we used to have faith in you, but not anymore. I don't really care. I don't want to. I'm just. Well,
what do you have there?
The government is, just like Alex Jones says, the government blows up their own building so they can spend over $30 million in an edifice to Bill Clinton's success. And out here, the people have helped raise the Branch Davidian Church, and they have contributed their own money. And yet I think what we've done here is far more meaningful and valuable, at least in spiritual terms, than the Alfred P. Murrah building will ever be. So yes, I think it's ironic, and I think it's appropriate that they have the dedication on the same day. Because all the staff pukes, politicos will be at the memorial to Bill Clinton, $30 million, and all the quality people, God's people will be out here. So
I love it.